Ladies and gentlemen, just Sunstrider here. Welcome back to Planetside 2. It is time for another episode of Sunstrider's Guide to Planetside 2. Last we left off, we did go over the classes, but now it is time to go over the vehicles. I'm once again back in the VR training center, and it's pretty active now. I don't know why. There's a lot of people running around testing out new shit, but today we'll be going over the vehicles, and as you can see, I'm an engineer because, well, considering engineers can repair vehicles and vehicles and terminals and that, it is best for players who play as an engineer so they can repair themselves without having to rely on teammates. Although some people do like to play like light assault when they're using aircraft so they can like bail out, drop C4 on something and then blow it up that way, but I don't know, I just stick to engineer when I play vehicles. There are many different vehicles in the game. Most of them are not faction specific. There are a select few faction specific vehicles actually in the game. The faction specific vehicles being Vanguard over there. Mega Rider over there, and the Prowler, which we saw driving by glowing like a fucking Christmas tree. But as well as the Mosquito, which is the faction-specific fighter, the Reaver,
ID.
the NC, and the Scythe. I'm pretty sure we'll see one soon. But yes, there are only one Empire-specific tank and aircraft per faction, and everything else is common, shared with everybody. And the tank symbol here is where you will go to find your vehicles, at least ground vehicles. There is the Flash, which is just a multi-terrain, two-person infantry transport. Is very squishy. A single tank shell will destroy it. There's the Harasser, which is the three-man battle buggy, which has a gun on the top and a rumble seat in the back, so like a max or an engineer could sit back there. There is the Sunstrider, which is a 12-man troop transport with two guns on the top, and it's also one of the most important vehicles in the entire game. There's the Lightning, which is the single-man ground tank, which is available to all factions. The Prowler, at least for the Terran Republic, which is their Empire-specific faction. It does look like a box on treads, but this thing is the fastest tank in the the three factions. It's not great on the armor, but it also is the only tank that sports two barrels, so you can have double the fun. And then the Ant, which is a very complex vehicle, at least in my eyes, which we will have to go over that in due time. But first of all, you have the Flash. The Flash is actually regardless of its size, the Flash is actually it can be very powerful in the right hands per se, because it can equip weapons. Right, it can equip like smaller versions of each of the weapons, which is exactly as powerful as the normal weapons, but obviously the Basilisk, right, it's only a single barrel, while on Sunstriders and tanks it's a double barrel thing, but it's still just as powerful. You have the Fury, which is a grenade launcher, the Colbat, which is a anti-infantry machine gun, and the Renegade, which is only available to the Flash, which is its shotgun. The reason why it can be so versatile, because look at all the shit it can get. And most notably, it has a turbo, which, I mean, it allows it to, it's pretty much like an afterburner for a aircraft, which it's a boost. Right, it's a scout raider, so it can like see enemies within its radius and ping them on the minimap. And it also works for nearby allies as well. But it has to be occupied to function. Fire suppression, which why would you even use this on a Flash? It gets one shot anyway. But it's pretty much like an auto repair thing. It's an ability which after you activate it, it repairs vehicle health. It says it right here. A smoke screen, which why the fuck would you use this on a Flash? It's really dumb. It creates a smoke screen, right? It prevents lock-ons and shit. But the most versatile would probably be the cloaking device. Combined with a infiltrator, it will fucking cloak, and combined with the shotgun, it's fucking deadly. In terms of vehicle upgrades, in terms of like defensive upgrade stuff, Mine Guard I wouldn't suggest taking because, like I said, it's a flash. It gets one shot anyway. Composited armor could be nice. It increases the health pool. We'll still get one shot by tanks, but at least if you're being shot at by infantry and they can't hit you, the driver, and they're just hitting the flash, at least then you won't die as quickly. Now that armor repair system doesn't matter. Vehicle stealth, maybe, but I suggest just going composited armor if you want to build a battle flash. Performance-wise, high-speed chassis will probably be the best for a stealth flash, just so you can, get out of there. Just so you can get out of there in time, and horn is just, well, they're horns, who cares? But I need to go over here and select my infiltrator real quick. This build... Hold on. Look at that. You can fucking cloak a flash. Now, if you've seen any of my gameplay in the past, you'll know that this is freaking really annoying to me, because it's a one-hit kill, as you see. And so somebody will, come by, like a Sunstrider or something, pop a few shots, and just disappear. Now, like a normal infiltrator cloak, when they're driving, they do have that shimmer effect that if you remember from the class overview, if an infiltrator is walking or sprinting, you can in fact see a shimmer. Same goes for the flash. You'll see the shimmer of a cloaked flash. And most people do know what to look for, and they can pick it up rather quickly. So yeah, but still, this is quite the deadly combo. This is probably the most popular version of the Battle Flash. I just have the Basilisk on mine, just so I can have some sort of personal defense, even when I need it. Yeah, this thing can be a real nuisance in the right hands. So there you go. So yeah, maybe it may look like just a two-person transport, but if somebody really dedicates themselves into shirting the hell out of it, then it can be quite powerful. But other than that, there's nothing really special about it. It's a flash. It gets one shot by tanks, so, just make sure you're maneuverable, I guess. And now with that done, I can go back to my combat engineer thing, and that's the flash. The harasser is... it's interesting. It's a 3-person battle buggy, right? But you need 2 people to effectively use it because there's a driver and then you have to have a gunner, right? So it's like, if you can solo in a flash, people have done it before. But it's like, it's interesting. Composited armor, you could go Mine Guard with the harasser just so you don't get screwed by tank mines. I'll probably just composited armor if you want to stay alive. Maybe fire suppression if you get into a bad situation. High-speed chassis, because why not? And the Vulcan, actually, there are quite a few Empire-specific Top Guns in this game. There's the Vulcan, which, as you can see, it's a fucking minigun. It's mainly an anti-tank gun, but it can be used on infantry, although it's highly inaccurate against infantry. The Halberd is like a sniper rocket launcher, and it's, it can one-shot infantry, and it can deal with tanks pretty quickly. The Walker is a rapid-fire flat cannon for infantry. The Ranger is more of a heavier hitting flat cannon. The Combat, as I said, is an anti-infantry machine gun. The Fury, like I said before, is a rapid-fire grenade launcher. The Bulldog is a single-fire mainly anti-infantry rocket launcher, but it can be used against vehicles. And then the Marauder is a TR-specific grenade launcher that is mainly to handle enemy infantry. But I like the Vulcan. I really do like the Vulcan. And oh yeah, of course you can change the And change this thing, make it all look fucking badass and shit. Oh yeah, get that hollow hood in there, but yeah, it's definitely the most effective with a gunner because as you can see, I can only drive in this thing. I have no guns whatsoever. Also, fun fact, turbo is equipped automatically in the harasser, so you don't have to unlock it like the Flash. It's just there. And it's also very interesting because physics don't exactly exist in this game. It's better with the Flash, but you can like drive up walls with a Flash. Can't really do that here though. Yeah. No, you can solo this thing. It does actually make quick work of at least light tanks like this. Oh! Oh my god. Explosion knocked me around a bit.
Got a hostile max in the area.
Yeah, eat it! Eat my mini barrels, damn it. Yeah, it's probably best to do in a squad, you know, you can have like a squad of 4 people do two-man battle, what the fuck? Two-man battle buggy squads. I've seen it a lot, you know, it's quite popular, this thing. In the hands of a skilled driver and gunner, it can really wreak some havoc, you know. Yep, that's Rasher in a nutshell. You know, it can be specialized for many different occasions. I just need to get all the way back here, but I do want to show you the Flash with the fucking turbo, man. Flash, turbo. Sure, let's change the appearance of it a little. I actually unlocked this with the little ball on it. Lumifire trim, exterior, some of that going. Ornament, get a nice ornament on there, although it's probably buried. Also, something to note, with vehicles you can hit G for lights. You know, you have headlights on these vehicles, and if you have a trim on it, that's how you activate the trim. But a lot of people roll without headlights because, I mean, it's pretty much painting a target on your head, right? So yeah, that's the lights button. But if you would look at that! Oh god, the fucking Flash, I swear. The Flash and physics in this game just do not exist. Oh god! Also, as I'm driving around here, it's probably, you know, it's probably a little obvious, but tanks are immune, like lightning tanks. Pretty much anything bigger than a lightning tank is immune to small arms fire, but Flashes, harassers, and Mosquito or Empire-specific fighters and Valkyries all take damage from small arms. So there you go. Oh god, that was a mistake. So yeah, there you go. That's the Flash in a nutshell. Alright, so moving on. Where were we? We were at the light... Nope, we were at the Sunstrider, actually. So the Sunstrider, like I said, is one of the most important kind of vehicles in the entire game. And the reason for that is that it's pretty much, it's a mobile spawn point. You know how, like in Subnautica, there's like the Cyclops, which acts as a mobile base? Well, it's kind of the same with this thing. It's not so much a base, obviously, you know. Not exactly like Subnautica, but pretty much it's a mobile spawn point. It can deploy. Is what I'm saying. Hold on, you see, you hit the G button, you get your headlights. But if you hit B, I don't think you can deploy here in this place. I think you can. Yeah, see, if you hit B, it turns into a mobile spawn point, And the reason why it just flashed like that is because I have a deployable shield on it, which protects it from damage. It acts just like a heavy assault shield, right? So you can it acts like a heavy assault shield, so you can just block all incoming damage for a short while, for as long as the shield's active. And if I hit the redeploy key, okay, this fucking laser knife here. Yeah, see, it gets hit and it flashes like that, you know? So if I redeploy, my Sunderer shows up as a spawn point here. Then I can deploy on the Sunderer. There you go, look at that. And you know, you can change classes here. And all that fun stuff. And the gate shield diffuser, this thing, remember in the tutorial when we saw that gate shield thing that I had to do the generator for? This gate shield diffuser pretty much lets the Sunderer drive through shields, right? You know, as long as it's glowing red like that, it will drive through anti-vehicle shields, like in tech plants or some outposts, and maybe player-made bases, I don't know, but it's also a great way to farm search, too. Because if you deploy that in a good spot and people spawn on it, you get XP for AMS, mobile spawn bases, things like that. Pretty much you get experience as people spawn on your Sunderer. That's fun. And now we move on to the Lightning. The Lightning is one of my most favorite tanks to drive. I don't know why, but it's fun. Alright? And the main reason why I like the Sunderer so much is because it's really versatile. It can equip a lot of different weapons. The Viper is actually a rapid fire heat weapon. It's heat. High explosive anti-tank rounds, as you will. And they can rapid fire 6 of them instead of rapid succession. The AP is the one I normally roll with because it can one-shot infantry. Well, most tank cannons can one-shot infantry. But it also deals extra damage to tanks. So there you go. But it has like no blast radius. Right? So you won't get any blast radius. Now there's heat rounds, which is kind of like the Viper, except it's a single shot. And there's HESH rounds, which is a massive explosive. Big radius, increased damage to infantry, but less effective against armor. And one of the most fun things to use is the Skyguard, which is a rapid-fire, quad-barrel, anti-aircraft flak cannon. So there you go. Or you can deck it out with stuff like this, you know, get a nice ornament there, and here you are. G button. Camo going. You know, you can drive around, and it's great at bullying aircraft. Not the most accurate thing in the world, but it's pretty good.
Enemy aircraft spotted. Enemy medic spotted.
Pretty much any aircraft will be fucking rinsed by this thing. Yeah, but, you know, galaxies are actually pretty fucking tough, so yeah. And it will do small damage to things like tanks. But it obviously won't, you know, like, do crazy amounts of damage to tanks. But it can damage tanks and infantry. As you see there. See, it can damage infantry as well. So yeah, this is kind of my go-to gun for this thing. Because the Lightning is in fact made of absolute paper, so yeah. It will get killed very easily, but as long as you can get good, then it's pretty, you know, just like anything. If you practice with it and you get good with it, then there you go. And I activated the fire suppression system. God. It's running animation, though. And then we have the Prowler. The Prowler has access to an anti-armor, and well, armor-piercing, anti-armor, and anti-infantry cannons. It has, Oh, yeah, right, it got barrage. These Prowlers actually got changed a little bit. Right? They got changed in the recent update, I believe. I'm just grabbing whatever the fuck I want on this thing. So, it used to be that Prowlers had... The Prowler... Each Empire-specific tank has a special ability, and the special ability of the Prowler is that it can lock down like this. Now, this actually used to be a separate ability. Like it would instead of barrage, it would be lockdown. But in the recent update, they made it so lockdown would be integrated by default. So it's kind of like the Harasser Turbo is just always there. But then they added in barrage. Now pretty much lockdown increases your bullet velocity and reload speed. Barrage, to activate this, increases reload speed. And I think it just increases reload speed. And these things do stack, right? They will stack with each other. And it's pretty much like a lockdown sniper tank. And it's not that much, and it's not that heavily armored, but it is rather fast. It's pretty quick. Yeah, it's tailored to your playstyle, really. And just giving like basic overviews of these vehicles, just so you guys know. Like, if you guys ever play Planetside 2, there are a lot of different playstyles each of these vehicles can fulfill. Yeah, it's just tailor to your play style, if you will. There you go. The Empire-specific abilities for the Vanguard on the NC is actually like a resist shield, which will pretty much reduce damage it takes by a little bit, so it makes it a little bit more tankier. And I can't remember what the Mag Rider has. Well, obviously the Mag Rider is the only hover tank, so there's a big advantage right there. But I think it has an afterburner, like a turbo in it? I don't know. I haven't played on the Bonus Armady in a while. I don't know if they changed it or not. Anyway, that's the Prowler. The last thing we have is the Ant. Now, the Ant is actually the main vehicle you use for construction. The mining laser is what you use to mine cordium, which is the raw material that you need to build bases with. And I'll go over the construction system in its own separate video, but like the Harasser, it has access to many different top guns. There you go. You can make a battle Ant out of this thing, but mostly it's just used for construction, so you won't see it in action in here. There is no cordium in the VR Training Center. But that is pretty much all of the ground vehicles. So there you go. Got some variety in those ground vehicles. Now, air vehicles, I won't be a master at because I don't fly in this game. Flying is definitely difficult in this game. But in terms of aircraft, each faction has its own Empire-specific ESF, which is Empire-specific fighter. Every single aircraft in this game acts kind of like VTOL, vertical takeoff and landing. So they're pretty much like VTOL fighters, where they can, go up and down, and then, as you pick up speed, it kind of reverts to fighter mode and all that kind of stuff. Now, the Mosquito for the Terran Republic is the fastest fastest aircraft in the game. It's also the weakest in terms of armor. And guns, it's pretty much the same as all the other ones. The Reaver for the new conglomerate is the beefiest. And it's also the most annoying because it actually has access to a shotgun nose cannon, believe it or not. And the Scythe is probably the hardest to kill because it's slim. It's the smallest aircraft of them all, so it's hardest to hit. And then we have the Valkyrie, which is like a mini squad transport vehicle. It has access to a driver and a gunner, because the gun is actually separate from the pilot. The Liberator is a 3-man gunship, and has access to many different guns. A Shredder for Shredder can deal with anything. It's mainly designed for anti-armor, but it can deal with anything. The Dalton is a single shot anti-tank cannon. The Duster is, why the fuck would you use this thing? It's pretty much a it's a 10-round mini missile cannon thingy, kind of like the Viper on the Lightning. And the Zephyr is a 6-round multi-purpose rapid-fire cannon thing. And the Galaxy is a 12-man dropship, and I don't know why they removed it, but the Galaxy actually used to be able to deploy as well. And then like little terminals would like appear on the sides. I don't know why they removed it, but they removed it, so now it's pretty much just a dropship which you can hot drop on bases with. They're still useful, right? They can still turn the tide of a battle, but they used to be really useful in battle lab fights where they would land and deploy on the landing pads, and then infantry would be able to pour out from the landing pads. But sadly, it was removed. But I can't fly, so I don't really want to show you guys anything. But the Mosquito has access to a general purpose nose cannon here, and anti-infantry Gatling gun here, another multi-purpose gun here, and then the rotary, which is a close range nose cannon for anti-aircraft duty. And then for all ESS have access to a fuel tanks, which increases afterburner capacity and recharge rate. High capacity tanks increases fuel capacity by 20 to 100%. There you go. Coyote missiles are homing missiles to destroy enemy aircraft. So they are air lock-on. Hellfire rocket pods. All factions have access to these. Although for the Banu Samurdi, it's Typhoon pods or some sort of plasma pods instead of rocket pods. The NC also have access to these Hellfire rocket pods. Hornet missiles are pretty much laser guided, kind of like they're laser guided, right? They follow your crosshair. Tomcat missiles are anti-infantry or anti-vehicle lock-ons for. Excuse me, the phone started ringing, but Tomcats are lock-on anti-vehicle pods, and then quick recharge fuel tanks are quick recharge fuel tanks. The Valkyrie, the rumble seats on the side, people can get shot out of them, but it's kind of hard to hit a Valkyrie anyway. They have access to a multi-purpose autocannon here, a close air support rounds, high capacity, effectively deal with hostile personnel, so multi-purpose cannon, I guess. A anti-vehicle Gatling gun, kind of like the Vulcan. Rocket pods, barrage of anti-armor rockets, so it's kind of like Hellfire rocket pods, and then this thing is kind of like a pocket Dalton from the Liberator. Liberator also has access to nose guns, the Drake, which is equivalent to the Basilisk on like Sundoors, the Bulldog, which is the same as the ground vehicle version, Hyena missile launchers. Launchers kind of act like the Striker when I showcased it in the class overview, which is just dump fired, but it will like snap lock to aircraft in close proximity, and then the Walker, which is kind of like the same, which is a multi-purpose Gatling gun, and then Galaxies have access to the same weapons as well. So there you go. That is pretty much all of the vehicles of the Planetside universe briefly explained. And like I said earlier in this video, they can all be tailored to different profiles. They can all be tailored to different playstyles, like anti-tank, anti-vehicle, or anti-aircraft, depending on what you want to play. So there you go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and if any questions, please do not be afraid to ask. And I think next time we come back, next week, it'll be explaining the continents of Planetside, so we'll actually be able to get into some live play there, hopefully. And yeah, again, like I said, any questions, please ask, and hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thank you all for watching. I'm out. Peace.